Welcome to the Afterspin, opinions from thought leaders in our state. I want to ask Bob Orr and Cash Michaels, from 1868 until the present, there have been 146 constitutional amendments proposed to our Constitution, 6 of them this year. 107 have been ratified and 38 rejected. The last big revamping of the Constitution was in 1971, and at that time the state bar formed a task force and made recommendations to the legislature. Former House Speaker and our fellow NC Spin panelist Joe Mavretic recently posted a blog on our website saying we need another revision of this government document. Do you agree? It's been 47 years since the last one. Bob?
I think there are a number of areas in the state constitution that could be or perhaps should be modified, but the process that we just went through with the 6 amendments that were on the ballot is not the way to go about it. Whether it's an independent commission created by the State Bar Association, whether it's a governmental commission, a bipartisan basis, but whether it's the structure for governance of public education, whether it's a question of whether we want to continue to have the election of Attorney General, Treasurer, and all of the down ballot races. Yeah, I mean, those are important questions that should be discussed. We don't need a new constitutional convention, I can assure you that, but I do think
Why not? Help me with that.
Because then you would have this huge political battle about who's going to be on there trying to reshape the Constitution generally in some way to favor a particular political philosophy. Give me an independent group of professionals, a narrow segment of issues or provisions that you want to address, and I think you do it incrementally.
But 71 was a pretty major revamp.
But that was a rewrite. That was not a new constitution. Any new substantive amendment was submitted separately. The 1971 new Constitution was really just a modernization and rewrite.
Cash, you were just a year or two old when the last time we did this Constitution in North Carolina. What's your take on all this?
Well, actually, I was born in 1956, but thank you for that, though. I do look younger. Only a fool would disagree with Justice Orr. Everything he said, I absolutely co-write with him. And if anything, I'm concerned, per these 6 amendments that they tried to get passed, only 4 got through. I'm concerned that now our Constitution has become a political tool. That, hey, if we can't get it passed normally, then let's see if we can get it, ingrained, so to speak. This way, then, we can run this state by remote control. You know, if the Constitution says it, then, hey, we get what we want no matter what. So I agree with Justice Orr totally, that we don't need more. If anything, if we can find a more effective way of removing some of the stuff that is in there that no longer serves its purpose, I think that would be best serving the people of North Carolina.
I loved what former Governor Jim Martin said about all of this. He said that the legislature was attempting to make constitutional those things that are not constitutional. That implies, however, that there's got to be some judgment applied to any changes that are going to be made.
Absolutely, and I tried to say this during the course of the debate on the 6 amendments. When you're asked to amend the fundamental document of your state, that's even more important than who you vote for in any particular legislative race or other sort of competitive election.
In fact, I think you said it should have been at the top of the ballot instead of the bottom.
Yeah, and the actual amendment should have been on the ballot as opposed to some slanted wording that doesn't accurately describe what the amendment's about. I mean, it's important. Unless the state constitution is in conflict with the United States Constitution or federal law, it is the last word on how our state is structured from a governmental standpoint, on the rights of individuals, on how public education is governed. These are hugely important components of North Carolina.
And the truth is, Cash, that whatever it is in that Constitution, we then leave it up to our judges at all levels, and particularly our appellate court judges, to make those decisions. And we just saw the last election where we now have a Supreme Court that has 5 Democrats and 2 Republicans on it. And I don't know about you, but I don't particularly care whether they're Republicans or Democrats. I care whether they can read and interpret and correctly judge the Constitution.
And that's the pit that we've fallen into now, that it seems to be more
politicizing.
It seems to be more important that we elect a Republican judge, or more important that we elect a Democratic judge. And what we're saying is that it's most important that we elect someone, be it a judge, who will decide my way, never mind the law, which means we actually contradict what we've set the law up to do to begin with. And that's very dangerous.
Well, and they said the reason why they put the parties beside their names is because people don't know who they are. Well, hello, maybe that tells you that we've got the wrong process here.
That's true. Although when they voted for me when I was running for judge, I was sure they had complete information on
Well,
that.
those smart people made good decisions.
I'm waiting for the constitutional amendment to be put forward that requires all of us to wash our hands before we eat.
Well,
good luck on that one.
Well, let me add a quick one. On a serious note, an independent redistricting commission, which would be a fundamentally different way of drawing the districts we've been talking about.
If we ever had a constitutional amendment that passed 100 to nothing, because I pretty well believe we could get that one through pretty quickly.
Let's hope so.
Well, thank you for watching the After Spin. We'll have more video all during the week on ncspin.com.